I'm going to circle back to baby talk. Siobhan, is something like Hop on Pop or the short, silly, rhymey kind of books, are they as good as or better than or worse than other books we might think are more appropriate for language acquisition?
I wouldn't say that they're better or worse than. I think the point is get the language out, to have the child exposed to the sounds. Even something like Hop on Pop, rhyming is actually something that I'd recommend very much when it comes to language, and even its correlation to literacy. We talk about phonemic awareness. Rhyming is a big part of that, and it's definitely a foundation for reading. So I would say, in whatever form you can get it, do that.
Interesting. It just popped in
Yeah.
my mind like that would be a fun game with a kid. Like if you say a
Absolutely.
word, think of a rhyming word.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can do that with all those books. I was going to say the same thing about rhyming. It's such an important pre-literacy skill. That's why so many books rhyme and have those cadences.
Oh, that's interesting. See, I just read it as a reader. I like don't know the science behind it, so that's really interesting to me.
And it's
So,
funny that you say that, because I always say, as speech therapists, sometimes when people see our sessions, they're like, oh, you guys just play. Like, no, we play with purpose.
With
Like,
purpose, yeah.
with purpose, there's always a rhyme and reason. No pun intended.
No, but
So what we're doing in
that's great.
therapy.
That leads me to my next question, which is what exactly is speech language pathology? Like, does it include the physical stuff like lisps and the R's that some kids have trouble with? Um, or does it also include like the educational things like reading and writing and like I guess just what is it? Maybe you can help define it for our listeners.
Sure.
yeah.
Well, there's speech and there's language. So I like to start with that. So people hear speech therapy, they just think of maybe lisps or, articulation, how you make the sounds. So speech is basically how we say what we say. And then the language part is the what we're saying, the content of our speech. So it's important to understand that. And then when you go into language, you need to further understand that there are different parts of language. So most basically, there's the receptive and then there's the expressive. So the receptive would be what we understand. The expressive would be what we express. And expressing doesn't necessarily mean just talking. It could be signing. It could be gesturing. So there's a whole category, under that. So, for people to understand what we do, yes, there are some mechanical things where it comes to like how you produce sounds and words. That would be the articulation part of it. But for me personally, my favorite thing is the language. I work with a lot of toddlers that are language delayed or have language disorders, um, and we work what they're trying to say more so than how they say it.
That's a hard no.